only thing I'm hearing from your mouth is the one I did wrong.
Criticism,
What is it now?
yeah,
There's nobody that is outrightly 100%
bad.
that's
It's clear that this person just wants to tear you down. There's nothing. The MO behind it is just. And her reaction to this young boy who was, a teenager at most, it was just so very rude and jarring. She was like
saying, try not to use the word you if you can. Don't say you, like you sound, you never, you always.
It's just done to humiliate you, put you down, always try to, whatever it is. Just whenever you're trying to criticize someone, remember that you are not perfect. Let's learn to extend grace to others, hold space for others, in their. Welcome to Life As We See podcast with A&A. We have another interesting episode for you today. I'm Ziki and
Amaka. So welcome.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about criticisms, handling criticisms. I'm sure we've all experienced it, either at home, with our families, at work, in our community, amongst our friends. I think criticism is a part of life. Because it's a kind of feedback we get from people. It shows you're engaging with people around you, right? So we don't exist in isolation or in a vacuum. We exist with other humans. And so long as we're interacting with them, there's also always bound to be criticisms, and things like that. So I want to start with maybe us talking a little bit, defining what criticism, from our own understanding, what we think criticism is.
So, criticism is just, like you said, feedback from somebody else concerning maybe a shortcoming or something you didn't do well or you could do better on. It's mostly, it has a negative connotation, I would say. But so what I think it's important to clarify what criticism we're talking about, destructive versus constructive. But basically, criticism is just there's something someone's doing, a part of a character that somebody's displaying that you don't like, and you're bringing it up to their attention.
Okay. So I like how you said criticism has a negative connotation, and I think it does, even though I think I Googled it somewhere and it defined it as is an act of evaluating or expressing disapproval or appreciation of someone or something based on perceived faults, merits, or shortcomings.
So when you say appreciation, would you be appreciating the shortcoming or?
Yeah, I mean, It says of perceived faults, merits. Yeah, okay. So I think appreciating their merits, but I wouldn't call appreciating someone. I wouldn't term it criticism.
That's why I said he has a negative. It sounds like
I don't know what dictionary. I don't know where they got this definition from.
It sounds like, but I think it's also like I would like feedback.
Yeah, feedback.
I feel like feedback is more neutral and balanced rather than criticism. But I get what criticism is also, because when I hear criticism, it's like, what did I do wrong now? It's mostly like what is wrong? What's the shortcoming now? What's the weakness? You understand? Yeah. That's how I view criticism, right?
Yeah. So, and I think in a larger sense, yes, criticism. Like when they talk of critics and all that, it's always. But sometimes when they talk about movie critics or things, it's not so much about something negative. It's just about them ranking or rating the movie or whatever work of art there is. So it's feedback. I think I like that. Feedback is just neutral. Yeah. Just feedback.
Feedback is neutral.
So what's your take on criticisms? Do you welcome criticisms? Do you dislike it? How do you?
Yeah, I welcome criticism, but I do welcome. The word I welcome is the word I like balanced feedback. Feedback that is balanced. Now, what I mean by that is a feedback is balanced when it's taking two sides, right? It's a feedback. Okay, so couple of things that I look for when I'm looking at criticism or feedback from someone. If I'm giving feedback to someone or I'm taking feedback from someone, I'm expecting, okay, have you talked about the things that I've done well? Like if I'm from my manager, are they talking about my strengths? Have they talked about what I've done well? Then they tell me, okay, these are ways to improve, right? Recently I had like a talk with my manager, and one of the things she mentioned was like, she talked about like the strengths that I had, and she gave me projects to do, and then she talked about the things she wanted me to improve on, and she gave me instances that were specific, right? And I was like, well, that's true, because I remember like that situation, and she was very, very specific about it, and it was a first-hand experience. So she actually saw me do it.
Oh, wow.
She saw like where I could improve on, and then she gave me a suggestion. Right, she was like, well, I'm gonna put you on this project because I feel like it will help you to work on this. So she did not just tell me this is what you're doing wrong. She's like, let me help you do it better, and this is how. So she also showed me the way, right?
I like
so that is balanced feedback, because the reason why you want to start with praise or somebody's strength is that as human beings, and it's natural for people to feel defensive when you're only talking, the only thing I'm hearing from your mouth is the one I did wrong. What is it now? There's nobody that is outrightly 100% bad. You understand? Come on. So she talked about what was
good about your work,
what was good about it, and then she talked about what wasn't going so well, and then she offered to help. I welcome criticism, because sometimes there are blind spots, right? You're driving, you know how you're driving, and there are blind spots. So it's other people that will show
that
you,
will see you don't
those
see
blind
it,
spots, so you don't see it. But the thing is, offer suggestions, help that person, because what your intention of balanced feedback is to make that person grow, is to improve, right? It's not to hurt the person, or it's not to tear down the person, right? So I think those are the things I look for. Specific, actionable criticism. Right.
We're going to delve into that, because the differences, and I think you've touched on that a bit. Criticism is good. I mean, while it is scary, it can be good as well, right? Because like you said, we all have blind spots we don't see. If no one is telling you, there's something in Igbo they say, which means a king who doesn't like people telling him, what to do, or just stays away. So it's important that we welcome it, but again, there are levels to it. There are levels to criticism. Is it balanced? Is it for your good? Is it to aid? Just like your manager saw somewhere you could improve on, and gave you. And in fact, I think even in the workspace, there's appraisals. They're able to outline, okay, these are the results you have, then these are the areas of learning. We call it areas of learning, like you can, keep improving on, which is good, because it's not how you say, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it to someone. So, Amaka, just to go into the area which you've already navigated us to. So there are different types of criticisms, right? It falls broadly under two types of what we'll call, just in our own summarized version, constructive and destructive criticism. Constructive criticism, I think, Amaka, is what you talked about, like your manager giving you suggestions what to do. You're calling me and saying, hey, I noticed that, you don't wash these dishes well, right? I've come back from work, and I've had to redo these dishes a few times, How about we change the soap, we change the sponge, we change the water temperature, and try it again, right? And then, like, I see that you're interested in me, like you actually want me to improve, not just that you're calling and you're just castigating me. You this, woman, why are you not doing this thing right? So constructive feedback is such that it's done from a place of love and, privately and whichever way. And then the other one is destructive criticism, where it's clear that this person just wants to tear you down. There's nothing. The MO behind it is just to tear you down, and to, So, Amaka, let's just dive deep into constructive.
Yes.
What, in your own view, what is constructive criticisms? Has there been time, apart from your manager, when you got that? And
I think constructive criticism is, like you said, out of a place of love. The intent is to make you, is to improve you, right? So, I've got a lot of feedback like that I would term like constructive criticism, where somebody is saying to me, oh, I noticed that there was a time, this particular time, and they give me like dates when it happened, and they're like, oh, what happened there? And they also seek for, another thing with constructive criticism also is, you also want to hear, so you're not just giving feedback, you're also receiving feedback about the way you gave feedback, right? That your feedback that you gave, how did I take it? How does it, how did it make me feel, right? So that next time when you're giving feedback, you know how other people feel about it, right? So it's not just like a one-way street of giving feedback. So that's another thing. And so I've had instances where they mentioned the situation and they mentioned like the incidents that happened in that particular situation. I was like, okay, wow, I didn't even know that thing happened, which is like back to blind spot, right? And they were like, okay, how about you do it like this and you do it like this other way? And then also just giving me actionable steps, which I really, really appreciated. So that for me was balance, and that's where I learned balance feedback, because I noticed that first I was told privately. Second, they first started with my intention. Kind of expressing your intention is to actually get you better. I want the best for you and all that. And then they talked about like a specific thing. Like, for example, if somebody comes late, or if I was always coming late to church, right? You understand? And then you say to me, Amaka, you're always coming late to church. You know that, right? You're a late comer. You understand? That's not a constructive criticism. Amaka, there was a time.
That's a labeling.
Yes, it's labeling, right? You're a late comer, basically. That's labeling and calling names. That's not constructive. Amaka, there was this time, two Sundays ago, church started at 9 and came in at 9:10. What happened? Is there any problem? You understand? You also want to hear feedback.
Can I call you?
Yes.
Just like Amaka one time said, calling me so that to remind so that I don't go late to church. Yeah.
Yes. So no, but it's just also helping the person.
Helping the person.
You understand? Not just saying it and then you go in your mind. Now you have said your.
I will say it as it is. 100. I keep it 100.
Your mind. They have said your feedback to you. There's nothing wrong. They're just saying your own feedback. Like I said before in one video, I can't remember. It takes boldness to tell somebody like, oh, this thing is not this. So I appreciate it when people can say it. Because if you don't say it, you probably go and say it somewhere else. But if you can say it to me, to you, I appreciate it.
You can work on the issue.
Then I can work on the issue. I like genuinely, Zuki, I believe that people are good. You can't tell me, you can't see me and override somebody. Like, if, like, genuinely, I feel like people have good intentions. I think man is intrinsically good, which I disagree with. I know you disagree with me. Yeah. My friend too does not. The heart of man is desperately wicked. I know, but I don't believe, and I could be wrong. People and this is just my opinion for you. I don't believe that there's somebody that is 100% bad. I don't know why. Nobody's 100% bad. No, I don't think so. I believe that if you search hard, you can still find good in people. Yeah, I think human beings, we're very complex creatures. There's a duality that exists within us. There's good and bad. You can see someone who is so good in this area, and this area they just suck. So there's just anyway. And then if you were perfect, you would not be existing. Yeah, that's you'd be like now. God. You understand? That's why we're all human beings. If you were perfect, if you didn't have one, if you didn't have one weakness or one this thing, then you'll be like God now. Then you just go to heaven and stay. What's the point of staying in the earth with imperfect people like us? Right. Okay, so I have in the past, there's been a time when I gave what I thought at the time was constructive criticism and it wasn't welcomed well. It kind of made me wary of just giving people, honestly, sometimes honest opinion of mine. Because so what happened was, this person was a friend, was staying, came visiting, and then I think one time we went to the store to buy something at the grocery store, and I think it was just a long day. We had a long day, and and then so when the person was ringing her grocery, like checkout, I think the person made a mistake, right, in maybe ringing something twice. And her reaction to this young boy who was, was a mistake, a teenager at most, it was just so very rude and jarring. She was like, why would you ring it? Like, it was just too brash, and honestly, I was taken aback. Even the boy like really felt, shocked. And when we got home, I was like, hey, the way you talked to that boy wasn't good, though. I mean, it was quite true. She was like, what? That why would he be? Can't see why that's how they'll be cheating someone. Why would he ring my item twice? And I said no, that sometimes you can come off very, I was just trying to give her, construct what I thought was constructive feedback, I think just relax. And she was like, no, that no one has ever told her she was rude, that even where she worked in the past, that she got best customer service, or she was giving me, she now started listing out all her awards for best behavior. I said, okay, I'm so, like, even me, I now started apologizing, I'm sorry for bringing it to your attention, right? So, and
for her especially, I just don't, even when I see her doing something that is not ideal or the best, I just hold my tongue, because I don't want her to come at me like, because it seemed like, I was trying to, I don't know, she didn't see my intention as being good, and because of that I got, discouraged from even helping. So there have been times when you try to give someone constructive criticism and they take it the wrong way, right? Maybe my approach, maybe I didn't say it the right way, maybe my tone of voice kind of made her be on the defensive, I don't know, right? But I'm just saying that there's sometimes, even when someone comes with constructive criticism, you're like, you don't want to hear it that way and take it. So when it comes to constructive criticism, does it matter who is giving it? If it's someone you consider a friend versus someone you're maybe not too close to?
To constructive, I think for me it matters.
Okay.
It matters. So for example, like my job, like my manager,
your manager,
this is someone that has seen me work, right? And I genuinely respect my manager, because she exhibits, she walks the talk, let me put it that way. So and I know that she's genuinely interested in all our lives, not just me, in all of us. So I believe, I hold her feedback.
Opinion,
I really hold it dearly, right? And there are some other people in my life, like my husband's feedback. I hold it dearly, right? Because I know that he genuinely is interested in my growth. Right. You understand? So there are people that it matters more than others. Sorry to say. There are people that it matters more than others, because I see the heart of these people, and I'm like, this person genuinely is interested in me and wants my best. And this person has first-hand experience with me. So you're not giving me feedback based on third-party hearsay. You understand? Like when she's telling me something, she tells me, this, I saw you do this, I was going through this, I was there. So she's not telling me, somebody told me that this is what, you understand? So feedback like that is like, I don't know what feedback you're talking about, but the first hand feedback from the person experiencing it is what I value.
So is it,
and with feedback too, what has helped is not saying, try not to use the word you if you can.
Okay.
If you can,
so with constructive criticism,
with constructive criticism, don't say you, you sound,
you always,
you or you say you never, you always. They talk about it even in marriages. You never tell your spouse you always, is a lie. You never, and all those things, they are not true. So even with constructive, don't say you. You can say, there was a time, I'm even learning it. There was a time, there was an incident that occurred. Do you understand? Kind of what we talked about, separating the action from the offender. Because when you start to say you, it's like you're labeling, you're trying to attack, and it comes across that way. But if you say there was an occurrence where this happened, right? It's different from you did this.
That's a good one, but I think I should incorporate that.
No, try not to say you. It will lessen the degree, and I've learnt it from my professional contacts. It will lessen the degree of defensiveness.
So with my friend, I probably should have understood. Okay, she was having a tough day. She was tired, and then she lashed out on the cashier.
Or maybe you should have asked and said,
"Are you having anyway?
Was there a reason?" And that thing I'm learning too is, I'm learning a lot though. Another thing I'm learning too is, you ask, was there a reason why you did that? I'm learning from Igbo people. Was there a reason why that happened? You understand? Then the person can explain the context.
So there's a way to give constructive criticism. Basically, that's what I'm hearing.
There's a way.
So we should learn how to do that, so that we don't come off as being antagonistic when we're trying to be helpful.
When you're trying to be helpful.
So secondly, destructive. We've been talking about constructive. Now, destructive criticism is now the opposite of everything we've been talking about, right? So that's where the intent is malicious, vicious, wicked, bad, hateful, everything gossip, everything. So destructive, that is where someone you've done something, like a friend, right? You've done something wrong, definitely, like you're in the wrong. For instance, this is my friend. If maybe we're not in a group of other friends, I now call her out publicly, that one would have been bad, because I'm not doing it from a place of So destructive is when it's just done to humiliate you, put you down, shame you. And I think a lot of it, like all these internet trolls, I feel like a lot of the criticisms on internet is destructive, because they're not trying to help people.
And I think with destructive too, it dwells on weaknesses.
Yes.
Right? And on people's past. Yes. Because when I see some of the things that happen this day, in my mind, I'm asking the question, so what did this person now? What has this person done to you as an individual? You. has this person done anything to
to
you?
you.
Let's just leave that the person did to other people. To you, has this person done anything to you? This thing you are saying about this person, when did it happen? 1982. So you are carrying their past and you are
Into the
bringing it
present.
to 2023. Please now.
But destructive, they don't care. They don't want to see the
They don't
strength,
want
right?
to
So I
see-
think
so everything is just bad.
destructive is what we don't want to be, even as
Yes.
individuals. It's easy to fall into, because I was there have been times I also gave destructive criticism. I feel like it's a thin line where, like, just always try to, whatever it is, just whenever you're trying to criticize someone, remember that you are not perfect. You might not, the area the person is wrong in might not be the area of your weakness, but you also have other weaknesses, right? Weak areas. So remember that. Let's learn to extend grace to others, hold space for others, in their weaknesses, and not just outrightly. People have been criticized in such a way that they lost maybe their stuff. Even in the family unit, I think sometimes growing up, our parents, like, the kind of criticisms they gave sometimes it was constructive, but sometimes it was also destructive. They're trying to, in their mind, they're trying to make you be better. They'll be like, look at your brother. Your brother is doing so well in school. Look at your sister. Look at your friend. They don't misbehave. Why are you misbehaving? Like, just comparing you to some other person and criticizing you. I'll consider that destructive criticism, and it doesn't help in any way.
Yes, it doesn't help. And even it also, like, might even hamper the relationship that brother has with the other brother, contributing
Creates
to
rivalry.
sibling rivalry. So it's also good that we're not comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy, right?
Is there something called having a critical spirit? Because I think sometimes some of us have, like, critical, like, we see the negative in everything. And that's where that destructive criticism comes from, right? So,
like, they tell you somebody, oh, this person is doing well, she did this, she did that, she say, she should have done, like, you downplay, like, somebody tells you something good about someone, you downplay that achievement, right? Rather than say, congratulations, this thing you did is good, you say, something that other people have done. You just try to downplay. What they call it's called bad belly. You just want to downplay the achievement of the person, and it doesn't take away anything from the person,
and it doesn't add anything to you. Like,
so that's destructive, because good news they can't share with you and hear congratulations. You have to bring one thing or the other.
Yes, honestly, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Whether we are friends, in our friendship, or in our family, or in our work, let's learn to be more constructive. No one is perfect. Feedback is good. I know it's hard. Some people don't like that feedback, that criticism, but we need it to grow, and improve. So, Amaka, how do we handle criticisms? And when I talk of criticism, I'm talking about constructive.
Yes,
we've established that destructive is not. We don't want that.
We don't want that.
That's toxic. So, how do we handle constructive criticism?
I think is like embracing it, being grateful. Like, and saying thank you for their feedback, right? So I go to my manager, I'm like, when she talks all those things, I'm like, thank you for this feedback, because it has helped me to see my blind spots, and thank you, because I don't think I'd have thought of those tips that you've given me by myself. I do not think I would have thought of them, because when somebody sees something, I appreciate the effort the person is thinking of me and looking for ways to help me be a better person. I appreciate it. Embracing it and being thankful for the feedback is really important, because it shows the person is interested in you.
Okay, great. So the other one I'll talk about is separating your emotions from it, because sometimes when someone comes, even if it's with the best intent, sometimes your emotion gets in pride, ego, yes, ego, so it's important that you separate your emotion, you humble yourself and listen
to what
what they have to say, because it's for your benefit.
Yes. And then like you talked about it, listening to is good. The art of listening is good. Don't listen to reply, listen to understand the perspective of the other person. Why are they saying this? They are saying this because they see something in you that you can do better. They see potentials in you that they want you to harness. So that's why they are saying it. So you understand? So listen to understand,
and find the truth in what they're saying. Feedback is good as well to help you improve and be better. So I think it's important that we learn to accept, receive criticisms, constructive ones, not negative, not destructive. Destructive ones are it's just gossip, right? When people, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what they said? This person did. No one is destructive. We don't.
You can't say it to the person's face, or in public that you say it, then in private you'll be
smiling and
all those things. So please, God will help us.
God will help us. It's very easy to fall into that.
Yes. So criticism is part of life, so we should just take it and then be able to use it to improve, because what's the point of the criticism if we're not using it, right? So
That's true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I had one question for you.
Okay.
It's not a riddle, but it's just a regular question. Okay. So what is the largest state in the United States by size?
Texas.
Da-na-na-na.
No?
Nope. By size.
By size. Oh, let's see. Do you say by size or by population? By size.
By size.
By size. Okay. Nebraska? North Dakota? Montana.
No.
I know it's one of those states up there.
Okay, try to the answer.
Wyoming?
No, you want to name the 50 states of America.
Nevada?
You want to name which one is N? What's your are you in a relationship with N?
Okay, what is it?
Alaska.
Oh wow, Alaska.
Is the largest state.
Are you serious?
By size.
Whoa. That's good to know. I would never have thought about it. Wow, awesome.
Well, you tried.
Awesome.
I think Texas is the second, but
okay. I was like, oh yes, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you for joining us. So like, subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Have a wonderful week or weekends, and see you next time. Bye.